is in dire need of a complete reformation. The system should be fair and equal, but it's not. America's richest benefit while the working class takes the brunt of paying taxes. It's designed to benefit the wealthy, and the burden falls on the working class. There are loopholes like offshore accounts and untruthful tax reports that allow billionaires to save money by lying on their taxes. How much do you pay in taxes a year? Do you even know? Do you know where the money you pay in taxes goes? Do you know what they do with it? Obviously, they pay for things like roads and schools and stuff like that, but really deep down into it, where does your tax dollars go? The typical earner paid $14,000 in federal income taxes with an average tax rate of 14.9%, according to a recent Tax Foundation analysis of IRS data. And this comes from CBS News. So the average working class, middle class civilian is paying $15,000 in income taxes a year. This is a bill from the White House. This is under the Biden administration. The Billionaire Minimum Income Tax Bill. This was proposed in 2023, and the White House estimates that America's more than 700 billionaires typically pay just 8% on taxes on their realized and unrealized income. In some years, billionaires such as Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and George Soros paid no federal income taxes at all. So it's likely that you as a working class citizen paid more money in taxes than the richest people in the world. So a lot of taxpayers don't even know how to pay taxes. They don't know how to fill out the forms. They don't know how to do the codes. They don't know how to file. They don't know how to do their W-4s to turn into their employers at the beginning of the year, and then they end up getting too much money taken out or not enough money taken out. And this is how you end up owing a lot in back taxes at the end of the year. And this can be a really big deal for a lot of families as they can't afford that extra money. So it's not taught in school. There's not a class on how to do your taxes. But every single person in America pays taxes in one way or another. Whether you're paying sales tax or income tax, if you buy anything or ever work a job, you'll pay taxes. So for it to be something that the entire population has to do, the American population is just grossly uneducated on how to do it. This results in a lot of people having to pay tax preparers to do it for them or a tax preparation service. And for something that's absolutely required by law, as an American, you should not be forced to go and pay somebody to do it for you to get it done. An ABC News poll from 2024 said that 67% of Americans feel the weight of federal income taxes is too burdensome. This extends to 62% for state sales tax and 69% for local property taxes. And most Americans feel the middle income earners bear the brunt of the tax burden. And as everybody that I interviewed about this said the same thing, that they believed that the middle class working Americans held America up while the upper class and the rich elite didn't pay their fair share. This is a poll from bipartisanpolicy.org on how people believe their tax dollars are being spent. Over half believe that their tax dollars were not being spent appropriately or effectively. 27% didn't know how they were being spent at all. There was no information given. And 18% believed that they felt they were being spent effectively. No information is given on how your taxes are spent, so the average American probably doesn't believe that their tax dollars are spent effectively because they never see how they're spent. A large majority of tax dollars go to funding the military, and a lot of Americans do not agree with the things our military does. So the consensus of it all is that the average American believes that their tax dollars are not being spent in the way that they would vote for them to be spent on. Some solutions to these problems. Filing taxes should be simplified, it should be easier, and it should be something that's taught in high school. Things like writing, English, arithmetic, algebra are all taught in high school, but you will definitely need this, and you may not need those things for your career. But every single person who has a job or again buys anything will need to know how to do taxes. It should be taught in schools. People who can't vote should not be taxed. So 16-year-olds who have a job, whenever they go to work, income taxes are taken out of their check. And they're taxed the same amount as everybody else who has a job, like me or you, who does get to vote. But they don't get a say in anything. They don't get to say in their representative. They don't get a say in the president or any of the bills that are passed or any of the laws that are passed. So money is taken out of their check, but they don't get a say. So they're being taxed with no representation. And the same can be said about felons, where money is taken out of their check, but they don't get to vote. So citizens should have a greater say in the way their tax dollars are spent. The government should provide citizens with an itemized list of how that they are spending their tax dollars. The government should be able to prove that they are usefully using that money. A lot of people will see things like in our town, there is a lot of flowers under the bridge that were paid for by tax dollars. And this could have been used to fund jobs of people to keep them up and gardeners to keep them up, but it wasn't, and they just died. So that was a lot of tax dollars that we didn't get to vote on or we didn't get to choose, that just went wasted, and we never had a say in it as citizens. All citizens should be taxed the same percentage of their income. So regardless of how much you make, everybody should have a flat rate that we're all charged. So right now, Louisiana operates under a tier system. So the first tier being 1 to 2% of your income is taxed. The second is, I believe, 2 to 4%, and the third is 4 to almost 6% of your income being taxed. And again, it's a good idea in theory, but it doesn't work because the high-class citizens have all of the loopholes to get out of paying taxes. So it ends up just taxing the middle class more, and it doesn't benefit anyone except the rich and the elite. The American tax system needs a complete and total reform. Taxes should be a flat rate for everyone. Citizens should have a more say in how taxes are spent. Filing taxes should be easier and more understandable by the basic population, and citizens who can't vote shouldn't be taxed because that's unconstitutional. So what can be done about this? So this is an article from the House, this is the US government, explaining the process of getting a law passed. You can contact a representative and they can sponsor a bill, and then that bill will go to the House, and then if it passes, it'll move to the Senate, and eventually it'll find its way to the President, and they can either pass or veto that bill. And if they pass it, then your bill will become a law. So these are my sources again, and I did say these all verbally whenever I spoke them. And these are all either .org websites or polls that were done.